fine people in New York City and real rhinos everywhere. I ask you to put your mechanized paws in the air.
Never!
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst final scenes in movies.
Just save the world. Can't leave anything to chance.
But can we change things if we do it different?
For this list, we'll be looking at the least effective last sequences on film. Did we forget a final scene that ruins a movie? Let us know in the comments below.
Hey Mojoholics! For a chance to win cash prizes, play our live daily trivia challenges every day at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern only at WatchMojo.com/play.
Number 10. Goodbye Grisabella. Cats.
All your memories of pain, let them go. And you'll dance with these beautiful ghosts.
If you can sit through all of the Cats movie, you'll reach the strange ending where Grisabella ascends into the sky. You might receive a few answers, but you'll definitely be scratching your head at questionable visuals. The last scene also has McCavity losing out on his trip to the Heaviside Lair, while Veronica is finally invited into the Jellicle Circle.
I believe you truly are a Jellicle cat.
It's all complete nonsense that lands with a big thud at the conclusion of this adaptation. Unless you're an apologist for the original show, the ending sequence might have you questioning your own sanity. This and an endless final number only makes everything seem like a bad fever dream.
You've learned enough to take the view. The cats are very much like you.
Number 9. Rhino Cliffhanger. The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I'm here live on Park Avenue at 56th Street, where it is complete chaos. A man in some sort of weaponized armored suit is wreaking havoc on Midtown.
Through all of its highs and low points, the ending of this sequel leaves audiences with an ineffective cliffhanger. The movie ultimately makes the confusing decision to have Paul Giamatti go full Rhino just before the credits.
I am the Rhino! I told you I would be back!
As if the original antagonist Electro isn't enough, the filmmakers include this new villain for almost no reason. It seems especially useless given the fact that Garfield's Spider-Man never got another solo film. Instead of setting up an interesting adventure for the future, the last scene feels like it's all style and no substance. It also ends up being a huge waste of Giamatti's talents. Number 8. I'm the Protagonist. Tenet.
What's happened's happened. Which is an expression of faith in the mechanics of the world. It's not an excuse to do nothing.
Among Christopher Nolan's most divisive films, Tenet features a trippy story about time travel. The ending shows the protagonist one-upping his associate by telling her that a future version of himself is the real mastermind. The sound mixing might make this much harder to hear on top of trying to believe it.
I realized I wasn't working for you. We've both been working for me. I'm the protagonist.
Unless you're completely understanding the movie's rules, this will only raise more questions than answers. It's also a large chunk of exposition that doesn't feel as cinematic as earlier scenes. Nolan's ambitions to create a complex story are commendable, but they're also bogged down by the cold plot, instead of having any emotional resonance.
You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
Number 7. What did we learn? Burn after reading.
Who are you? The CIA? NSA? You military? Who do you work for?
There's a lot to enjoy about this dark comedy, including several fun performances from stars George Clooney and Brad Pitt. The chaotic story wraps up with a scene at the CIA where officials talk about the entire case. It stops the movie dead in its tracks, only to finish out the plot through a dialogue-heavy sequence. Not only that, the men recapping everything don't have any profound answers to the previous events.
So that's it then. No one else really knows anything.
The surviving characters don't face much in the way of consequences, and the authorities are no closer to understanding anything. You could say that the filmmakers intended for it to be anticlimactic, but that doesn't make it any less cumbersome.
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
Number 6. Return of the Outbreak. The Happening.
Just going to talk in a very positive manner, giving off good vibes. We're just here to use the bathroom. And then we're just gonna leave.
M. Night Shyamalan's film did not receive positive reviews for its tale of a freak event that inspires people to harm themselves. While many people dislike the overall movie, the ending itself still boggles minds to this day. The toxin that seems to change people stops working and life moves on for several months. As the Moore family enjoys themselves, events in France hint that the world hasn't shaken the plant-based threat.
We have become a threat to this planet. I don't think anybody will argue that. And this is a warning.
Avoiding any serious answers, the explanation for the happenings starting, stopping, and starting again remains mysterious. Shyamalan then uses the conclusion to toy with the audience once more, rather than offering a satisfying close.
Well, Kay, to be perfectly honest, this was an act of nature, and we'll never fully understand it.
Number 5, Evolution, Lucy.
Are you sure you need such huge doses? I'm afraid you won't survive.
Scarlett Johansson spends the bulk of Lucy developing superpowers after absorbing a mysterious drug. By the end, she develops the ability to transcend space-time and her own human form. It's a bit far-fetched for a movie that's already absurd to start. In the case of the final scene, Lucy says that she's everywhere and turns into some kind of advanced entity.
Luke, the computer, it's moving.
This kind of reveal is a love it or hate it scenario, scaring off viewers with its ridiculous cop-out. Confounding the central antagonist, the lead character's disappearance might be one of the most out-there endings ever put to film.
Life was given to us 1 billion years ago. Now you know what to do with it.
Number 4, The Future, AI, Artificial Intelligence.
A blue ghost in ice, always there. Always smiling, always awaiting him.
With David underwater, many thought the robot boy in AI, Artificial Intelligence, would stay there forever. Steven Spielberg instead chooses to jump into the future in an ending that's ultimately unnecessary. The hero finds himself meeting evolved mecha beings that give him one last vision of his mother. Choosing fantasy over a more open-ended conclusion, Spielberg received pushback for this fairy tale finish.
Please make me a real boy, so my mommy will love me and let me stay with her.
It's definitely one that wishes to give the main character a happy send-off, rather than giving audiences something more challenging. While the filmmaker defends his choice, the actual finale feels too sentimental for its own good.
I have always loved you.
That was the everlasting moment he had been waiting for.
Number 3, Reintroduction, The Forgotten.
You know this is getting out of control. It's finished now. End it.
After a shocking twist, The Forgotten struggles to finish out its mystery with any believability. Julianne Moore's Telly Peretta learns that she's been the subject of a military and alien experiment. Peretta is then expected to live on with this information, finding herself at a park where other characters have had their memories wiped. She introduces herself to them again as the curtain closes on this bizarre ride.
They're okay.
I know.
The calm ending is completely at odds with the roller coaster of the previous minutes. Moore's performance tries to reel in the strange writing of this awkward scene, but nothing can quite save this moment from feeling like a bait and switch.
I'm Telly. Sam's mom.
I'm Ash. I think we met before.
Number 2, Websites, The Devil Inside.
He took your gun.
Yes, he took my gun.
We need to get out right now. All of us need to get out.
In the history of horror endings, The Devil Inside might be the lamest of them all. The film finishes on a cliffhanger that plays for shock value. A flurry of violence happens at the climax of this disaster, including a possession that leads to a car accident. The ultimate fates of the Rossi family aren't entirely clear either. Not only that, the filmmakers really throw the audience for a loop with one final surprise. The credits include a title card telling viewers to learn more at a website. Avoiding any real resolution, the plot ends like an advertisement rather than a proper movie. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Lincoln Memorial, Planet of the Apes.
I have to leave now. I have to take a chance it can get me back.
Let's be clear, this remake of the sci-fi classic has already received tons of criticism for its execution. There are a number of choices that add up to this being ineffective, including the ending. For the last scene, Tim Burton sends his hero back to Earth. The nod to the first film involves changing monuments such as the Lincoln Memorial to ape-looking figures. It's a goofy remix of the original version that's more comedic than shocking. In the same vein, the twist doesn't feel all that satisfying with these final moments. The set design attempts to sell this as a profound surprise, but doesn't do much to reinvent this lackluster interpretation of the 1968 movie.
God damn you all to hell!
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.